Welcome to this session of the video, Responsibilities and Strategies for Policy Implementation in Achieving National Aspiration. Now, what are those? We'll look at the government responsibilities because everyone has a role to play in achieving the plan and policy implementation. The government has a role to play. So the role of the government during the plan must be itemized so that the one that will take the responsibility of each role will equally be put in there. This will help in implementation process because during plan, if you do not spell out the role of each one, it will be difficult. So what role does the government need to take must be there because first and foremost, the policy will come from government that every other policy is going to hinge on. Now we'll look at the federal government responsibility as well because we're talking about government. You have both state, you have the local government, state and federal. Now, again, when it comes to the federal level, what role will the federal level play? What role are they going to? So that will be not the state. What role will the state? What will be their responsibility in the implementation plan? Then the local government, what will be their responsibility? Like in the educational sector, you discover that you have a particular role that the federal government play that cut across all the educational sector by bringing on the policy that each educational sector will hinge on. Then outside that, at the state level takes care of most of the secondary schools in Nigeria. Although the federal also has some secondary school that they take care of. Then you come to the local level, they take care of the primary school levels, the primary school section. So in this area, you discover the role of each government has to be spelled out, whether at the local level, at the state level, or at the federal level. Now, talking about the educational reform. In the area of educational reform, some certain things may have been identified that are not working well, that is not maybe having enough impact in the society. So such things need to be reworked. And in this area, when it is being identified, it has to pass through a process during a plan. And in that plan, you have to come up to state what the situation is and what needs to be reformed and how it should be reformed, and the procedure that it should take for the reformation. This is what is required in reform. And although reforming is not very easy, because sometimes it will always stand maybe challenges here and there, people not wanting it to work. Then the next one is strategies for accomplishing national aspiration. What are the strategies so people have to accomplish national aspiration? One of such strategies is government participation to provide education for all. It's one of the strategies you could have. Secondly, the state and the federal Ministry of Education must be focused. Their focus must be on achieving those strategies as stipulated in the national national policies. Their monitoring and evaluation is key. Where there is no monitoring and evaluation, there is every tendency that what ought to be may not necessarily be. Then again, you need to have the politicization of education, because the level of politicization will mar or make what is there. Let's cite example. Before now, you discover that nobody thinks about, oh, which zone are you from? Let me use Nigeria for example. Which zone of Nigeria are you from for you to become the vice chancellor of the line? But today, that one is in place, which is politics, which is not really very healthy in the educational setting, because we are no longer looking for who can do it, but we are looking at the zonal thing. And at the time you go into zone, then what happens? It's a political thing altogether. Then you look at the availability of data and its accuracy, because right here is a major problem. There is no way you plan with a data that is not accurate and you get it right. So therefore, where you get your data and the type of data you collect matters a lot. Because if where you are getting your data and you discover that the data is not right or the data is falsified, then definitely the plan will be faulty. The plan will have hinge. So therefore, it is always advisable if there is a way policy can help enhance such a way that you always have accurate data. Then the school climate will have to be adequate. And again, there must be an improvement of assessment. You have improvement of the technology that will help to enhance what needs to be put in place. Because if the technology, again, is not so enhanced, it could affect what needs to be done. In this regard, there are other specific strategies that we need to look at: teacher education. Right today, many people don't want to become teachers. They go on to read other things, study other things in school. But when they are out of school and they are looking for a job, they will come into the teaching. And how do you expect them to perform? So this is the irony. Those that really want it, those that really love it, probably because of pay, the amount that is attached to it, they go for other programs, they go for other courses, they go to other discipline that feel is properly well celebrated. There's some of them because of the way the society look at it. So teacher education needs to be revisited. The way we get admit students into teacher education, also sometimes you discover, oh, if you cannot go in for medicine, okay, maybe they will take you in education. So instead, if you now make education for the dropout, if you now make education for the neglected, therefore, what are you expecting? You are building mediocrity into the quality of education. So in this regard, can we have a way that coming up with policy whereby the teacher education is enhanced? Then again, let's look at the facility and the training procedure that is in the teacher education. Looking at the facility and training procedure that is in teacher education also, you discover that a lot of things that are lacking that need to be put in place for the teacher to be well equipped, so that when the teacher comes out, the teacher will be able to do what she or he ought to do. And this cut across the early childhood education, basic education. What process do you have in place? What plans do you have in place to take care of the educational system from the early years to the older years? Now, in this regard, what are the basic amenities? Why do parents want to put their children in private school against the public school? What is lacking? And it suffices us to know that in some of the private school, they do not even have as much qualified teachers as in the public school. So these are issues that policy need to be made, and that could be maybe area of maintenance of facilities we call it coming in, because the area of basic education, secondary education, higher education is paramount in any society, as well as the adult education. Again, we have to think about the special education, where special education providing education for those that you know they have physical challenges. We have to provide education for them, though that will take care of them, so that they will not just be neglected and be made useless in the society. Everyone needs to be incorporated. The curriculum need to be visited. The curriculum need a review. Then the curriculum need a policy guidance that will help to guide the curriculum and the planners, so that when the planning stage is on, you are able to select appropriate learning experiences that need to be taught to the student, that need to be taught at a time that will be useful to both the student and the society. Again, we'll look at the inspection and supervision procedure, the standards and funding that is being required. Now we talk about funding. There should be a mechanism of accountability. There should be a mechanism of checking to say, if I give you this, what did you spend? What is the return? When this is not done, then definitely it will hamper the planning and implementation stage.